Hello everyone and welcome to Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com, the number one Superman fan site in the world. In this, our May 30th, 2022 show, we're going to be covering a range of topics, including a closer look at the Supergirl costume to be worn by Sasha Calle in the Flash movie. We're going to be talking about some of the stuff happening around DC League of Super Pets, some merchandise. Also, we're going to look at the upcoming Superman and Lois episode. Yes, it's finally here tomorrow night. And we're going to be talking about comic books. We're going to do our monthly segments, our weekly segments, and so much more. We're also going to turn to you to ask for your questions and comments on any particular Superman topic you would like to discuss, and to let you know how all that works and how you can get involved in tonight's show. Of course, the instructions have changed. Let me introduce you to my co-host, Mr. Michael Bailey. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, it would probably be a good idea that I pulled those new instructions up because they were on last week's email, but not this week's. So, but it'll just take a second. Here we go. All righty.
And happy Memorial Day, because you said you haven't heard of that enough times today.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not trying to laugh. I'm just covering up for the fact that apparently I'm terrible at my job still. Okay, so in the old days of Superman Homepage Live, we'd tell you to go on Skype and all that, but that's all gone now because we have this really nice QR code that you can scan. So you scan the QR code, you hit call now, and we'll try to get you on in the second half of the show. It's much easier. Doesn't really require, I think you still have to, like, if you're watching us through an external speaker, you still have to pause that, mute that. But other than that, it is so much easier than it used to be.
Indeed it is. So for those who are tuning in live via YouTube tonight, you can also participate in the comments. We ask you to get involved. There are people already watching the show, making comments, saying hello. Get involved. Hello to Kenneth, Robert, Mark, JP, and others who are tuning in. Ask questions, post comments. Michael and I will keep an eye on that feed as we go along in this next hour, and we'll react as necessary. But if you would like your question or comment featured on the screen live during the show, that's called a super chat. All you have to do is click the little dollar symbol there on YouTube. A slide will appear on your screen. You decide on the dollar amount you're willing to donate to feature your comment or question, or a super chat, super thanks, super stickers. All these things are available there on YouTube. Get involved, and we will show them on the screen as we move along. And thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. If you'd like to support the Superman homepage, just click the join button there on YouTube. Well, Mike, it's been another interesting week in the world of Superman. Things coming and going, and things happening and left, right, and center. And we're here to discuss them all and see where things are at. Mind the gap, mentioning off the bat that I did pop up on another podcast. I was very kindly asked to be a part of the video for superhero stuff you should know. They asked me to come on and ask me and discuss about the 5 hidden gem comic books that I thought people should know about in the world of Superman. So if you want to see what I chose from the modern era of Superman, nothing before Byrne era, you can check out that video that is up on our website right now. So it was nice to participate in a podcast where I didn't have to control everything and press all the buttons and be doing all 3 things at once. So yeah, that was kind of fun.
Yeah, that was a very manly picture they chose for their YouTube thing. I was just like, wow, Steve showing off that he's been hitting the gym. Very good.
My Facebook profile picture from last summer, so about 6 months ago. But yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Thanks, guys. Very nice.
Looked good.
Yeah, thank you.
Don't worry about it.
So let's push on for today's episode. And as I mentioned, Sasha Calle has been in the news. She's playing Supergirl in the upcoming movie The Flash. Still don't know what version of Supergirl she's playing. Quite possibly could be the Lara Lane Kent version of Supergirl. That's from a different universe, being that she's a brunette with short hair, has a similar costume design to that version of Kara Zor-El that we saw in Multiverse Story. But she was interviewed by V Magazine, in which she says that she feels very honoured to have been chosen to play Supergirl, and talks about how representation in the entertainment industry really matters, and she's super honored to be the first Latina Supergirl. There was a moment when we were shooting, she says, when Andy, the director, was like, hey, come over here and watch this scene on the playback monitor. And I go over and I see her, Supergirl that is, and she's in full glory, and suddenly I got really emotional, which is kind of nice to see that, something like that would have an emotional impact on someone who's been chosen to play an iconic role. I mean, it's not the Supergirl that we, know and love from the blonde-haired cousin of Superman, but it is nevertheless a Superman family member.
Yeah, I mean, and she's absolutely right about representation. I'm glad that they did go with a Latina Supergirl instead of, when she was cast, Melissa Benoist was still on the air, so it's not like there wasn't a more traditional looking Supergirl out there. And if it's a different version, if it's a different reality, then you should reflect that in casting somebody that doesn't normally get the chance to do that.
Indeed. So, to date we've had 3 actors to play a live-action version of Supergirl. Obviously, Helen Slater in the 1984 Supergirl movie. Laura Vandervoort played Kara Zor-El before she became Supergirl in the Smallville TV series. And then Melissa Benoist most recently in the Supergirl TV series. So, welcome to Sasha to play the role of a Supergirl, one way or another, and the Flash movie will premiere June 23rd next year. But this week at the recent licensing expo in Las Vegas, Warner Brothers Pictures had costumes on display, and amongst those were both the Supergirl and the Flash costumes for the upcoming movie starring Ezra Miller as the Flash, and as I said, Sasha Calle in the Supergirl costume. So we got a bit of a closer look at the Supergirl costume. It has its flaws in my opinion, but it obviously is a multiversal take of the character, and so it's not necessarily the costume that we're familiar with or that we've come to know from other iterations. But they're obviously, the S is completely different in that it's very similar to the Man of Steel S, but the tail on the bottom connects back up to the body of the S, which is an interesting look.
I like it as a design. I still insist that the main problem, since this is, you look at the detailing there, it's very Man of Steel inspired. With the ridges and all that. And I think that's kind of one of my only problem with it and the Man of Steel costume or the Justice League or the Batman v Superman, because they're all variations of the same theme. There's nothing breaking up the midsection.
Yeah.
So like on the person, it looks okay. There, it looks like footy pajamas. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, she looks great in the costume. I actually really like the Flash costume too, because I hated the Justice League Flash costume. I thought it was way too busy. They overcomplicated it just for the sake of overcomplicating it, and there, that looks really sleek and good. So I'm, but no, I like the way the cape and the S come together. Okay. That's a really sleek design, in my opinion.
A lot of people saying that the S gets a little bit lost in amongst the red.
It really, I guess I'll have to see it more on her, because we've only really seen behind the scene photos so far.
Yeah.
We haven't seen any official, her standing in front of a lightning bolt or whatever, what they usually put behind them when they do these things. Personally, I think the first image they should release is her against a dented bank safe, just to kind of line it up with Sparks. I actually think that would be really cool, because I remember when we first saw that picture and we were both like, "Wow, that looks good."
Yeah, that was impressive, and they hid so much of the detail we couldn't tell if he had red trunks on or not, because of the way the shadowing.
We spent so much time just studying that picture, trying to see the barest hint of trunks, exactly. And they weren't even there.
No, they weren't even there. But they did very well. A very good job of keeping us guessing with that first released image of Henry Cavill in front of that bank vault image. So the Supergirl costume: no red boots, no red trunks, no red skirt, nothing along those lines. but the red upper section of the design bleeds down to the right hand side of the shoulders and to the elbow or the forearm, and then a nice cape. We hadn't seen the cape in any of the images that we'd seen from behind the scenes, because on most occasions they will digitally include that later on. But when she's standing around talking or whatever, you've got the cape there in actual reality. And I agree with the Flash costume comments that you made. I could not understand why he went with the design that he went with in the Justice League movie. And it just didn't kind of make sense. I'm glad this is a bit more comic, true to the comic book designs that we've seen, and looks a lot sleeker and a lot more red, which is good.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
With the gold kind of boots and highlights as well. So looking forward to seeing this movie when it comes out June next year. So that is what we've got currently for the Flash movie with Supergirl participating. Mark Lack saying he loves my background. I will discuss that a little bit later in the show if we get time. If we don't, I'll make sure I make mention of where this design comes from. So stand by for that. But looking forward to the Flash movie, as I said. All right, elsewhere in the world of superhero movies involving Superman, we have this upcoming animated, or actually I think it's released now. It was released on Blu-ray, DVD and digitally from May 24th. So it's been out about a week now. Haven't seen it myself yet, but it will. It had premiered on Cartoon Network Saturday, May 28th. And will then be on HBO Max June 28th. So Teen Titans Go and DC Superhero Girls Mayhem in the Multiverse. Here is another clip from this animated movie if you haven't seen it yet. This one involves Lex Luthor. It's called, what's it called here? It's Luthor and the Phantom Zone.
Ew, real fur? What are you, like an actual cat? Hey, Selena, eat your heart out!
What if I told you I hold the power to get rid of every superhero? While searching through the remains of Krypton, my space probe came across the Amulet of Sithona. This device uses an ancient science even I have yet to understand, but its power is undeniable.
Power? Luther no find trinket in space. Luther find trinket in cereal box.
Found the trinket in a cereal box. Want to have a look at? Have you got your Kryptonian decipher thing handy anywhere, Michael?
No. I'd have to pull that up.
Okay.
There was a point where I could kind of do it just by looking at it. But I'm a little...
Just a spoonful of sugar.
Sorry, wrong video there. Just gonna... So I'm just gonna forward through to the amulet. Let's see who's the quickest to see what we can decipher on the back of... Here we go, there it is.
So that is a T.
Is that a THIS in the middle? No, it wouldn't be an
yeah.
S.
No, the S is more of
a Superman symbol. I'll have to grab my Kryptonian decipher. Let's have a look. Quick look. Kryptonian alphabet translator. Here we go. Okay, I've got it. Here we go. Let's see. So we've got... I'm just going to grab the image quickly so we can put it up side by side here on the screen. Let's bring this in right there. So what have we got? We've got
C, and that is
a Y.
CY. Okay, and that's a T.
Yeah. TH.
And what's TH?
THO. THO. What's the diamond? THON. Scython. And then we've got another N. And we've got a Scythona. Okay, that's what he said it was.
Okay, so it's the Amulet of Scythona. Okay, so that makes sense.
There you go. All that just to get the word Sithona, which you already told us what it was. I thought it was going to be
Well,
something.
I mean,
I thought it was going to be something nice.
to be fair, that's an interesting detail, like just a little Easter egg. I mean, most people are we're nerds, but most people who need content to talk about, but most people watching that either on Blu-ray or digital or on Cartoon Network, it's probably going to blow right by them, and they're not even going to think.
No,
they're going to, oh, what's that? And we're going to be like, look, you weren't there in 2004 when they were forcing us to translate entire pages of dialogue
yes.
Because they thought it was cute to make us do homework.
Indeed. So Sithona, there you go. I like Dr. Casey Jones in the comments saying he thought it said this side up.
That would be great. I would have much preferred that, actually. That would have been cute.
That would have been funny. All right, so as I said, that animated movie is out now, DVD, Blu-ray, and digital, and it's also been streaming on Cartoon Network. All right, the other movie that's coming out quite soon, next May, June, July. So July 29th for you guys. I've got to wait to September. But anyway, it's DC League of Super Pets, and Warner Brothers Consumer Products released a big press release about all the merchandise, tie-in stuff that's happening with this animated film. I've got some of the images here that you might want to take a look at for some of the merchandise that's coming out. You've got Baby Crypto there. You've also got, what have we got here? Superman and Crypto toys, these figures. And then there's also things like the plush set of the Super Pets. You've also got a plush Crypto with, I think...
Who talks.
Who talks. So you obviously press his little belly there and you'll have something to say. And there's also official activity book, colouring in books. There's a graphic novel, The Great Mixie Up, all new story, and junior novelization. I grabbed the deluxe novelization. I'm reading it at the moment, which is kind of a bit of a spoiler, kind of gives away the plot of the film beforehand, but it's obviously oversimplified. But there's heaps of things coming out. In Australia, we've got different things that are exclusive to Australia, and Big W and Australia Post here. Rubies will be doing children's costumes inspired by Superman and Batman's best friends, Crypto, Ace, and the other heroes. There'll be apparel and accessories. There'll be pet products, which, why wouldn't you go there for merchandising? There'll be, squeaky plushies and rope tug toys and collars and more for your pet at home. So I'm guessing Michael's eyeing those off for his dogs.
When they go on clearance, because $25 is a lot to pay for a shirt. I mean, to be honest, we don't really even buy our pets pet clothes. We buy baby clothes, and we cut off the bottoms, and that's what they wear.
There you go.
Because it's like $1 for one of those. So there's a pet hack for everybody out there.
There'll be obviously the video games, which we've mentioned before, houseware and home goods, things like tumblers and other items of homeware that you'll be able to get, bedding sets with the comforter, pillowcases, and top and fitted sheets. There'll be all different things. A play toddler bed with built-in guardrails is available now at Walmart. So they're going all out for this animated film. There'll be Hallmark keepsakes, which we've shown before, and all the tie-in books and activity things. McDonald's Happy Meals at the moment are going around, I believe. If you haven't done that, it's activating in 67 countries around the world. So there's no excuse. If you've got a McDonald's in your locale, I'm sure you'll be able to get the DC League of Super Pets Happy Meal toys from McDonald's quite soon, if not already. There's, what else have we got? In the Philippines, they're doing Jollibee's, doing toys with their Jolly Kid meal, and so much more. So check out the full press release at our website for DC League of Super Pets tie-in merchandise.
Jollibee's. That's an interesting name.
Now, who doesn't have a smartphone these days? Most people do, and they're coming. I think they're out now on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. They've got this. Check it out. These little, what do they call them? Is it AR lenses? Not VR lenses.
No,
It's AR lenses, yes. Have a look.
Yeah.
This is a little video on the DC League of Super Pets AR lenses. There you have it. So you can put yourself in with Ace and Crypto. I did one posted on our Instagram account as well a couple of days ago. So it's a little bit of fun there that you can post with the DC League of Super Pets with new lens effects for your Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchats.
I don't have Snapchat.
No, neither. I used to, but I think it's kind of, I don't know, maybe the teens are only using it, not us oldies.
Yeah, I'm way too old to have Snapchat.
I even downloaded TikTok
like...
and created TikTok, and I still don't really understand what the interest is there, but I'm showing my age.
I've poked around TikTok a little more. It's a weird place. It really depends on what algorithm you get on, because if you make the wrong choice, you suddenly are inundated with a bunch of videos you don't want to watch. So,
so anyway, there you have it. Quickly, just lastly on the movie side of things, if you've never seen Superman the movie and you have an Alamo Draft House in your area and you live in Minnesota or Texas, then in late July, early August, the film, the 1978 classic, is showing at Alamo Draft Houses in Richardson, Denton, Woodbury, Park North, Stone Oak, and Lake Highlands. So if those names mean anything to you, then you might want to check out Superman the movie in a Alamo Draft House near you, late July, early August. Yeah.
All right.
Have you ever?
There's not one near me.
No. When was the last time you saw Superman the movie on the big screen?
Oh, back in 2018 when they did that limited release for Fathom events. So
very nice.
I haven't been to a movie in like 3 years.
Actually thinking of going later this week to see the new Maverick. What's it?
Top Gun.
Top Gun. I hear it's really good.
Yeah, everybody that I know and people whose opinions I trust tell me it's fantastic.
Okay. So I'm looking forward to that.
I'm kind of amused by that because I still literally have no interest.
Okay. Well, a couple of movies coming out that look really good. There's the upcoming Elvis film, which I believe got a 12-minute standing ovation at the Cannes Film Festival.
Wow!
Baz Luhrmann, Australian director, involved there, and cannot wait for the next Jurassic World iteration with the legacy originals coming back to the story.
So oddly enough, the only reason I'm excited for that movie to come out is that Dr. Pepper has re-released their dark berry flavor. It was a limited thing they did back when Spider-Man Far From Home came out.
Oh, okay.
And my wife Rachel absolutely loves it, and we were down to one can because we hoarded it. We like bought a 12-pack and like just didn't drink it all at once. But we've got 4 12-packs, so that's probably going to last her for the next like 5 years.
Very cool. All right, before we get into our segments and our break as well, ABC Classic here in Australia, radio stations, you can get it digitally around the world. They're doing the Classic 100 film music for the screen. It's a poll asking you to vote for your favourite music composed for the screen, be it for film, TV, or video games. And there are 3 Superman options available to vote for. The obviously classic John Williams theme from Superman the movie. There's Shirley Walker's Superman the Animated Series theme and Hans Zimmer's Man of Steel theme. If you want to vote, just head to abc.net.au/classic. And you'll find the big graphic there, similar to the one I've got up on the screen now, to vote in that poll. I think that's an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of happy that Shirley Walker's theme is up there because it's my second favorite one.
Yeah, it's a great theme
after the Williams theme. So
very cool. All right, we've got time before the break to do our fan favourite segment of the show, so we're going to jump straight into that right now without any further ado. Before we get into the fan favourite segment, quick question in the fan comments. Mind the Gap saying, was the Jor-El AI an invention of the Superman movie? Was he ever in the comic books coming to teach Clark before Superman the movie?
I think there was something like that. Because in the comics at that time, he remembered Krypton. So it wasn't like he had to be introduced to his father like it was in the movie. But I'm sure there was probably some kind of like tape recording or whatever. But yeah, in terms of how they used it in the film, I think that's the first time we saw that.
Yeah, good question, Buck. All right, so the fan favourite segment of our show. Our question last week was, what is your favourite episode of Superman, the animated movie? And we had a few responses to this. Who was first up, Mike?
Stephen Marshall was first up, wrote, Superman, the animated series, is my definitive version of Superman across all media. So choosing one episode is hard, but if you twisted my arm, I would have to go with the two-parter Legacy, which ended up being the finale of the whole series. The episodes of Superman, the animated series, Darkseid, always delivered on the spectacle, yet always seemed to go deeper than any of the others. Legacy was a whole series culmination of story, and we finally got to see Darkseid get us comeuppance. However, it also showed us that even when Superman can physically defeat Darkseid, he still loses somehow, and they would take that further in Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. Legacy is a huge part of the reason I hold the series in such high regard and why Darkseid is probably my favorite DC villain.
Cool. Thank you, Stephen, for a very well thought out answer. Next up was JP Rocho, who said, my favourite Superman the Animated Series episode is Action Figures, episode 1 of season 2. I don't know, I think it's just a lot of fun. Love the kids who befriend the amnesia-suffering Metallo, making him better and even selfless in the end. Yeah, that was a good episode.
That was. Alexander wrote, there are so many: Batman, Darkseid, Green Lantern, The Flash. So the ultimate ones for me are tied between two episodes. One, Mixyez Pitillated. I mispronounced that. I will offer my resignation tomorrow, Steve. Because I love how we as the audience were trapped in the 90 Days narrative loop too. Hey, Paul Dini. 2, Brave New Metropolis, because the final showdown between Lex and Superman and the kiss between Superman and Lois at last. It's tragic. It's a tragic and beautiful episode. Cheers from France. Wow.
Thanks, Alexandra. Appreciate you getting involved. Tyler Hauser was next up, and Tyler said, it might be cheating since it's a 3-part story, but I loved World's Finest. I had that VHS that was retitled as the Batman Superman movie. My brother and I watched it almost every night before bed when we were in grade school. Yeah, that was a good release.
Yep. No, I remember buying it, being very excited for it. Jason Jaroslawski. I hope I pronounced that right, Jason. Hi, guys.
Better than you did Mixy's Pitalik.
Yeah, I'm about to screw that up again. Hi, guys. There were a lot of great Superman the Animated Series episodes. I'm currently enjoying them again on the Blu-ray collection. Yeah, I picked up my Blu-ray collection a couple months ago.
Nice.
I would have to pick McGurk. McGurk is number 1. Mixyez Pixelated. Did it right that time. But I pick as a runner-up as Speed Demon. Always love a Flash Superman race. Don't let Kryptonite give you a bad day.
Very good. Thank you very much, Jason. And lastly, we had Kenny Crowley Jr., who wrote, my favourite episode of Superman the Animated Series is all the team-ups with Superman and Supergirl, Little Girl Lost, Unity and Legacy. Seeing their dynamic in the show was so good and loved their chemistry together. Plus, Tim Daly and Nicole Tom are great voice actors. Kind of reminds me of how in live action Tyler Hoechlin and Melissa Benoist's dynamic came together as Superman and Supergirl in the DC TV episodes. Take care, guys, and keep up the super amazing work. Well, thank you, Kenny. And yes, I enjoyed the Superman and Supergirl relationship in that series as well. It's a bit of a spin on the Supergirl-Superman relationship, the way that she was found and all that kind of stuff. So, very cool.
Yep. Good
Thank
choices.
you, everyone. Yes, very good choices. Appreciate your involvement in the fan favourite segment of our show. What is our new question moving forward, Michael?
What is your favorite Superman beach or bath towel?
Yeah, well, it's coming up summer for you guys, so you'll be heading out to the beach and the pools, where here I am just getting rugged up, and the idea of going out to a beach or a pool is ludicrous. But nevertheless, you guys, beach and bath towels are a thing that's happening at the moment, or soon will be. So show us what your favourite Superman beach or bath towel is. Send us a photo to the email address streaming across the bottom of your screen right now, info@supermanhomepage.com, and we will feature your photos and your favourite Superman beach or bath towel when we return to this segment next week. So get involved in the fan favourite segment of our show.
Woohoo.
Do you have any?
They're all bleached. They got into the wrong thing. I had like a really nice a good Jim Lee one. I had a Man of Steel one. I had one that I bought like back in 2006. And just because of how laundry works, we usually use those as like bath mats.
Right.
They just get thrown in with it and get bleached with the white load. So I want to get one for, because I sit on a towel because this chair is weird, and I've seen on Amazon a really nice one that looks like the cape. It's red with a yellow S, and that's probably not, but it's $25, so I have to justify spending that much on a beach towel. And I say this on several levels. I'd rather be in Australia right now.
We're going through a bit of a gale force winds here at the moment.
It'd be so nice.
Yeah. All right, we're just over the halfway mark of tonight's show. We're going to take a quick break, play some messages, then come back on the flip side to do the big question, the super secret soundbite, this week in history, talk about Superman and Lois, comic books if we have time, all that right after this. Don't go anywhere.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
If you're enjoying Superman Homepage Live, then please like and share this video with your family and friends. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, then you can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever we post a new video. You can also join our YouTube membership program, just click the join button below. Or you can become a patron and support our website by going to patreon.com/supermanhomepage.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Balmer, the voice of Superman and Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
Just try one. If you don't like it, it's easy to give up.
Uh-oh, nicotine. I'd better move fast. Up and away!
Go on, kid, go on.
Superman, is it hard to give up smoking, or is it easy like nicotine says?
You no good windbag, nicotine.
No, Superman. Leave me one. Please, I need one.
That's how hard it is. That's why I never say yes to a cigarette.
And I play that commercial because tomorrow, May 31st, or today, depending on where you are, is World No Tobacco Day. So, just a friendly reminder from Superman, that's why he never says yes to a cigarette.
Yeah, my buddy Andy is from the UK, and he actually says that's why he doesn't smoke. It's because when he was a kid, he saw those PSAs.
There you go. Well, they work then. All right, getting into the... which will we do? Let's do What have I got first on the list, Michael?
Are we going to do the TV stuff?
Yeah, but let's get into the monthly things first so that we get
Okay, that's
done.
fine. It's however, I'm just looking at the list. So
I'm going to do the big question to start with.
Let's do the big question.
Let's start with the big question.
Yes, Lois, let's start with the big question. What was the big question last month, Michael?
Should a new Superman movie be a period piece set in the 1940s or 50s? And Patrick O'Neill wrote in, no, it shouldn't. Well, he had more. While I disagree with the sentiment that Superman is unrelatable or your father's hero, there seems to be a decent amount of people who feel this way. I think a period piece Superman film would only reinforce this misconception. There's plenty of things you can take from early Superman comics and put in a modern film. Superman as a character is just as relatable now as he was back then. He just needs a good script that embraces who the character is, and the movie will do great.
Thank you, Patrick. Well thought out. Stephen Marshall wrote, I would be okay with it as its own thing like Joker was. A Fleischer-style Superman would be wonderful in many ways. However, when your mainline Superman is in limbo, I'm not sure it's a good idea. Also, how do you sell this to general audiences? The timing just isn't right for it, in my opinion.
And Eddie Chianti wrote, yes, I think that would be wonderful because it's something that we will have never seen before. That is what I thought Smallville was going to be.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you, Eddie. And being that this kind of is a bit redundant now with the fact that we kind of have people commenting each week, it was kind of better when we were doing it as an audio thing where it would only be, once a month kind of thing. I'm going to discontinue the big question segment of our show because we discuss and talk about things on a regular basis and fans can now comment live with us. So it's kind of like, as I said, a bit redundant, the big question. And we do a great debate thing on the website where we kind of ask these types of questions and fans can participate there on a weekly basis. So this is the final big question for the foreseeable future. So thank you for everyone who participated in this segment over the last 10, 12, 15, 20 years, however long we've been doing this. Feels like forever, but I really appreciate the involvement there. All right, well, let's move into the super secret soundbite.
Only one thing alive with less than 4 legs can hear this frequency, Superman, and that's you.
Yes, the super secret soundbite from last month was this sound. Let's hear it again.
If you did shoot me, and the bullet bounced off it might accidentally hit someone else. We don't want that to happen, do we?
No.
So, did you know where that was from, Michael? Can you guess?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I mean, even before I have the answer in front of me, I would have recognized that.
It is, of course, now it's Ben Affleck talking to a little kid in the movie Hollywoodland, the story of the life and death of George Reeves, who played Superman in the 1950s. And 3 people guessed it correctly. 4 people, actually. Who were they, Michael?
Patrick Delmore, Stephen Marshall, Patrick O'Neill, and Eddie Chianti.
Thank you to those 4 guys. Congratulations for guessing where in the world of Superman that sound came from. Let's see if more people can guess where in the world of Superman, that is, this new sound comes from.
Unbelievable. I'm eating Kryptonian food.
Close enough.
So, do you think you know where in the world of Superman that sound comes from? Michael looks a little bit confused. If you think you know, no clue. Then, if you do know, then head to supermanhomepage.com. Under the contact menu, you will find the super secret soundbite entry form. Send your answer in, and we will read out the names of every person who guesses it right when we return to this segment at the end of June. So it's a little bit of a tough one. If you think you know it, get involved. All right, let's jump into the television side of things, and then we'll get into the This Week in History a little bit after that. But we have a new episode of Superman and Lois airing on the CW tomorrow night, finally, after a 3-week break. It's also tomorrow night here in Australia on Fox 8, and I guess in Canada as well. It's pretty much the same time. Looking forward to this episode, which is titled Lies That Bind. It is the 12th episode of Season 2, and we have the trailer, which we have seen before, but let's have a look at it once again, just to remind you of... Actually, I don't have it on hand, but I can grab it quickly. What are you looking forward to most about this one, Michael?
Oh, just mainly getting back to the show, but I'm really looking forward to seeing the fallout of Clark revealing his identity to Lana, and where that's going to go. But we've got 4 episodes left in this season, and it's kind of a nail biter about where it's going to go and how everything's going to wrap up.
Yeah, here's the trailer.
You've been keeping this huge secret from me.
Lana, I'm sorry.
Clark being Superman is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more you need to know.
They have no one left over there to protect them. They're gonna need our help. Can't save everybody. Well, I have to try.
Superman and Lois. New episodes Tuesday, May 31st. Free next day, only on the CW app.
There you have it. That was the trailer for Lies That Bind, the next new episode of Superman and Lois, airing tomorrow night, Tuesday, May 31st in the US. Then beyond that, we have the synopsis for All Is Lost, which is the 13th episode of Season 2, and that reads, Clark and Lois disagree on the best way to figure out if Ali Alston went to the inverse world. Meanwhile, John Henry makes a surprising discovery, and Lois sets out to track Lucy down. Then it says all those other cast members also star. So an interesting one coming up after next week.
Because Superman saw her over there. So...
yeah, it's a bit confusing.
Did she go over there? Yeah, because I saw her. She was there.
Yeah, she was there, and she was like, floating above me on the Kent farm over there.
This is not something you forget.
No.
And no, it's not something that just kind of looked like her.
Yes, and he saw them merge too.
Yeah,
they're in front of him. Start to merge, yeah. Anyway, so we'll wait and see whether that synopsis is on the money, but wait for Superman and Lois All Is Lost next week, which is great that we're actually getting back-to-back episodes. That's June 7th for that one. All right, we are going to now do This Week in History, and here is your intro, Michael.
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bonds of your earthly confinement, traveling through time and space.
Alrighty, starting all the way back at 1952, we have World's Finest Comics, number 59, which, man, Superman, Batman, and Robin were just not busy on these covers. I mean, seriously.
Like, why is he destroying a fire department's trampoline thingy when he can just land?
Superman, you're just not funny anymore. Then jumping ahead to 1962, we have Action Comics number 62, Half a Superman, which has a pretty cool coloring effect on there. And then Adventure Comics number 298, which...
Fat Superboy.
You know, there was somebody, I forget who said it, that Mort Wessinger, who was definitely the editor during this time, that said the 2 worst things you could be in a Superman comic around this time was fat and a woman, so that's 2 for 2 on the cover. It was a different time.
Yes.
Jumping ahead to 1972, we have Action Comics number 414, Superman versus Superstar, and I love those types of covers. It's like, if that's Superman, who am I?
Yeah.
And then we have a Metamorpho story. And then Adventure Comics number 421, which was a Supergirl story, which looks really creepy. So that's a scary cover for 1972. Jumping ahead to 1982, we have Adventure Comics. Is that the next
That's
one?
The one?
Yeah, Adventure Comics. This was when Adventure Comics went from being a regular comic to a digest-sized book.
Okay.
That's why it says the biggest little buy in comics, and you have a Captain Marvel story and a Legion of Superheroes story, which is why I think I didn't put it on the list originally, because I don't usually put the digests on there, but I forgot that's where Adventure Comics went before it ceased publication.
Mm-hmm.
So we also have DC Comics Presents number 49, which has Shazam and Superman fighting Black Adam. That's a pretty good storyline. I'm sure there are people that are really wanting this to happen in the movies as well. And then there was Justice League of America number 206, which has Abnegazar, Wraith, and Gast on the cover fighting the Justice League, the Demons 3. Jumping ahead to 1992, Action Comics number 679.
Who's the artist here?
That's an Art T. Bear cover.
Okay, interesting.
Jackson Geist did the interiors, but yeah, that's Art T. Bear doing the penciling and the inking on that. And you could tell it's the 90s because look at that cape. 2002, we have Superman Tarzan Sons of the Jungle number 3, which I was about to say I think I did the review of this, but I think this was around the time that I had to stop doing reviews for a little while because of things going on. Almost didn't come back, but look, here we are now. And then in 2012, we have DC Comics presents Supergirl Superman number 1, which reprints... Okay, it says Supergirl Superman, but like usual, like there's an Aquaman story in there, and it's really weird. We also have Superman Family Adventures number 1 by Art Balthazar, which looks... I've heard this is so much fun. I've never actually read
are quite
those.
Fun. Yeah, they're good. Quirky.
And we have Young Justice number 16, which I'm sure contained Supergirl, but this was mostly about like the heroes with their sidekicks, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
In the real world, today, May 30th, in 1975, Aaron Spolensky was born, who has pulled the hat trick of appearing in Superman, the movie, Superman 3, and Man of Steel. So hopefully they'll have him in another one. Going from June 2nd, Stephen Bender, young Clark Kent in Superman Returns, was born in Missouri in 1989. And then we have also on June 2nd, Ron Eli, or Eli, I don't know how you pronounce that, Superman and the Superboy 2. Well, older Superboy, I think, is what they would officially call him, because they were not allowed to call him Superman. Was born in Texas in 1930. He was born in 1938. Look at that. And then on June 5th, artist Wayne Boring, one of the best Superman artists ever, was born in 1905. And that is this week in history.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Michael, for that. Very cool to look back in time at all those cool comic book covers and to celebrate the birthdays of those excellent contributors to the Superman mythos. All right, we're going to bring in one of our regular callers. Mark Lax is waiting patiently in the green room right now. He's just adjusting his camera. I'm going to put him on the right-hand side of the screen next to Michael. There he is. Hello, Mark. How are you?
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well.
Can.
Okay. You know what? I did the scan with my phone, which I've never really tried before. So I was just trying it out to see. I didn't know, if you guys have time or not. But yeah, it works. Okay,
beautiful.
That's good.
There you go. You've learned something new.
Yes.
Very cool. Was it you who asked me earlier on about the background behind me?
Yes.
So, okay. So it leads me into my next story, which is quite fortuitous. The background behind me is the Kindred Spirits poster for Super Auction in honor of Refugee Awareness Month. It's put on by Kindred Spirits Super Auction by KEPYR. I'm pretty sure not sure exactly what that stands for, but if you go to their website, they will obviously explain who they are. But it's a original Superman artwork created by renowned animators and comic book artists, and the images there are part of the designs that you'll be able to purchase at auction, with all money going to UNICEF's refugee relief work in the Ukraine. So there you go. That
very appropriate.
Great.
So there you have it. That's very appropriate. So that is live on eBay from June 10th through to June 19th. If you're interested, visit kepyr.org to see all the items available in the auction. But I want to have a look at this week's comic books that are coming out to see what you'll be interested in picking up, Mark. For fans who are interested in reading comic books, this week we have a couple of big ones. We have Superman, the Action Comics 2022 Annual Number 1. It's a one-shot, A Tale of Two Titans. Our review of this issue, will be available tomorrow on our website, and it's available in this very cool Steve Rude Action Comics inspired cover. And this tells the tale of both Superman and Mongol from their origins, if you like. Also available this week is a tie-in comic book, Justice League Road to Dark Crisis, another number one shot, and that is available in 2 different variant covers. One right there. Pariah reading comic books on his throne of comic book boxes.
That's not Pariah. He's not crying.
He looks too. He's going to be sinister.
Looks way too happy.
And then there's another one right there. So that's 2 variant covers. Also in trade and collected editions this week, we have, Michael, Death and Return of Superman Omnibus Hardcover 2022 edition.
Wow.
And then we have Superman Son of Kal-El Volume 1, The Truth hardcover as well, out this week. And then there's Teen Titans by Jeff Johns Omnibus hardcover 2022 edition. And that is what you can purchase in comic book form this week.
Action Comics Annual looks pretty good. I mean, I'm really enjoying the, Phil Kenny Johnson's run. So I saw him interviewed on Word Balloon a couple days ago, and he had said how, the storyline is ending and Clark will be back in Metropolis. So I'm very intrigued as how they're going to deal with that with John and,
how it all comes back together, how Superman regains his powers and all that kind of thing.
Right.
Very interesting. I'm enjoying what he's doing at the moment on with the War World saga that's going on. It's been a long run. It's a well drawn out story, but it's intriguing all along the whole way. So it's if you like your longer sagas of Superman stories, then definitely check out what's happening in Action Comics at the moment.
Yeah, it looks the annual looks pretty good.
Yeah. Anything in particular you wanted to chat with us tonight about, Mark?
Oh, not really. I'm just glad we got to talk about a little bit of comic books. So.
Yeah, and you got the QR code working, so that was good.
Yes, I tried that. So
very cool. Well, we'll keep you on while we talk about this next story, which is an interesting one. Okay. The Japanese Superman manga series is coming to an end soon. This was the one where it's called Superman vs. Meshi, where Meshi stands for meal in Japanese. Batman going for a ride as the 2 of them obviously head around Japan looking for something to eat, because this is what Superman vs. Meshi is. It's about Superman flying around Japan looking for food to eat, sampling food at different restaurants. The 13th and final chapter is scheduled to be released on June 14th, which means it's been going for a year, and it sees Superman teaming up with Batman, as you can see here on this very intriguing cover. Batman holding a bowl of some type of food while Superman's got one of them stuck in his mouth.
I'd like to read one of those. It looks...
I don't know, is it English translation or not? I'm sure it's just probably all in Japan, but there are apps these days that can do the kind of on-the-fly translations for you.
Yeah.
Batman doesn't look that happy riding on Superman's back that way.
Would you be? I mean, seriously. I mean, this is like, there is no dignified way of Superman carrying another human being.
While you hold his food for him while he flies.
Well, yeah, that really doesn't matter. He should do the Superman, the movie thing, and hold his hand, and be by each other's side. I think that would be much better.
Have a sushi roll in between them, hanging onto the sushi roll.
Yeah.
And then drop him and go, survive that, Batman, and then he does.
And then I think I love Batman, but once in a while I would like to see Superman drop. Put a little scare at him,
Yeah, that'd be funny. Well, thanks, Mark, for calling in. Glad that the QR code worked for you. Thanks for testing that out for us, and it's always great to hear from you.
All right, guys, you take care.
Thanks. You too, Mark. Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Whoop! I just hung up on Michael. I'll get Michael back. Sorry, Mike. You might want to call back in very quickly. That was unfortunate. Got rid of Michael there as I was hanging up on Mark. So Michael will jump back on quite quickly. There he is, getting him right on now. Sorry about that, Mike. I pressed the button to hang up on Mark, and he'd already hung up. So the button that was available was hanging up on you.
Oh, it's okay. I was saying before, you hung up on me. Was it something I said?
No. Something you're about to say, I'm sure.
I don't think there's any difference between this version of the Death and Return Omnibus and the last one that someone actually sent me, so I didn't have to buy it.
Oh, that's nice.
So I don't think I'm going to be getting this one. Again, unless somebody wants to send me and there's like a really big difference in it. And I'll take it. I take free stuff. As long as it's not soiled or rotten, I'll take it.
There you go. And Captain Mo in the comments kindly tells us that the food on the cover of that Japanese comic book is takoyaki. Takoyaki.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Captain
Awesome.
Mo. Appreciate that. If you're into conventions and you want to check out some of the Superman artists that will be at the upcoming Heroes Convention, June 24th to June 26th, then this is a place you'll want to be. It's the 40th anniversary of Heroes Con in Charlotte Convention Center in Charlotte, North Carolina, across June 24th to 26th, as I said. Creators that will be there are Louise and Walt Simonson, Carl Kiesel, Stuart Immonen, Jay Lee, Ron Friends, John Romita Jr., Dexter Vines, Lee Weeks, and Wilfredo Torres will all be there. So some excellent Superman artists who have been involved in some things from long ago and right up to recent. If you want to purchase tickets, eventbrite.com is the place to do that. I'm guessing you've met some of those folks.
If they've got Louise Simonson, Carl Kiesel, and Stuart Immonen there, and they don't do a
panel,
Death of Superman panel, somebody in the programming department really needs to have a talking to. In all honesty.
Well, yeah, definitely. It's it would be a opportunity missed if they didn't. But that pretty much brings us to the end of tonight's episode. Again, there's that podcast that I was a special guest on. If you want to check that out, it's on our website as well, Hidden Gems of the Superman comic book world. Pick out my best 5. But anything you want to leave us with, Michael? Anything you want to let fans know about that you're doing?
I recently, it should be out in a couple weeks, appeared on a Super Friends podcast.
Nice.
John Drew and Dan Greenfield host. They were covering the episode from the first season that actually has the origin of Superman in it. And we did. They have another little smaller show called Filmation Files. So we talked about an episode of the Filmation Superman series. One of my favorite, the one with the parasite, which is just God. That it's creepy. It really is. The parasite isn't. It's Icy Harris instead of Rudy Jones, and he looks like what Jesse the Body Ventura looks like now. So it's a whole thing. But that should be out in a couple weeks.
Excellent. Well, that's it for tonight's episode. Thank you everyone for tuning in to Superman Homepage Live. Don't forget to give us a like before you close off tonight. Thanks to everyone who tuned in, commented with us on YouTube. And thanks to our patrons and sponsors, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. And thank you to you, my co-host, Mr. Michael Bailey. Thank you, Mike.
Pleasure as always, Steve.
And don't forget, if you missed part of the show, tuned in late, want to check it out all over again in full, you'll be able to do so both at our website and on our YouTube channel. But Michael and I will be back next week on Monday, June 6th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time for another edition of Superman Homepage Live. Hope you'll join us then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. I'm Steve Yunus, on behalf of myself and Michael Bailey. Thanks for watching Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com.